Welcome back to Galaxy Recaps. Today we'll be diving into an action thriller franchise titled Sicario. This includes the movies Sicario and also Sicario Day of the Soldado. Enjoy the recap. The movie kicks off with an elite FBI team gearing up for a high-risk mission. Reports indicate that a remote safe house in Chandler, Arizona might be holding individuals against their will. Leading the charge is FBI agent Kate Mazer. As the team breaches the safe house, they find no immediate signs of hostages. But something feels off. Agent Reggie spots a suspicious hole in one of the walls. Proceeding carefully, the team tears into the wall, revealing a chilling discovery. Several bodies wrapped in plastic, hidden in a secret compartment. Forensics are called in, and as the investigation unfolds, a staggering 42 bodies are unearthed from within the walls. The team presses on, uncovering a padlocked hatch, hinting that the situation is far more dangerous than they anticipated. Back at FBI headquarters, Kate and Reggie attend a critical briefing centered around taking down Manuel Diaz. The CIA, led by Matt Graver, steps in to collaborate, sharing intel and refining their strategy. Recognizing Kate's courage and sharp instincts, the team invites her to join the operation. Driven by the need to bring justice for her fallen colleagues, Kate accepts without hesitation. During the briefing, Diaz's operation comes under scrutiny. While he presents a facade of legitimate businesses, rumors swirl about his deep ties to a powerful Mexican cartel. His brother Guo Diaz and cousin Fausto Alarcon are identified as key players in the operation. As the team preps for the next phase, Kate meets Matt, who outlines the plan: create chaos and dismantle the cartel responsible for the horrors at the safe house. When asked if she'll get a shot at the men behind it all, Kate's resolve hardens. She's ready and willing to see this mission through. Meanwhile, in Naco, Mexico, a man named Silvio lies in bed, resting after a long night. His young son bursts into the room, eager about an upcoming soccer match. Silvio drags himself up, sharing a quiet breakfast with his family. After eating, he changes into his police uniform, gearing up for the day ahead. Back in the US, Reggie drives Kate to an airbase where she's set to link up with Matt Graver and his team. Stepping out of the car, she bids Reggie farewell and strides toward the waiting plane, her mind swirling with anticipation and unease. The stakes are high, but she knows frustratingly little about the mission's details or their destination. On board, Kate questions Matt about where they're headed. "We're going to El Paso, right?" she asks. Matt's casual response offers no comfort. The conversation drifts to his experience with Mexican cartels, but the details remain frustratingly vague. Upon landing, Kate and Matt arrive at a military base where a commanding officer briefs a large assembly of soldiers, laying out the dangerous operation ahead. As the soldiers listen intently, Kate feels out of place, overwhelmed by the lack of information. Seeking clarity, she approaches Alejandro, hoping for answers. Alejandro, calm yet mysterious, reveals he once worked as a prosecutor in Colombia, dealing with dangerous criminals. His advice is blunt. Kate won't fully grasp the mission right away, but over time, everything will become clearer. Kate absorbs his words, but Alejandro's cryptic explanation only deepens her unease. Later, Matt advises her to follow Alejandro's lead without question. Kate pushes back, asserting she isn't authorized to take orders from him. Matt shrugs it off, leaving her more uncertain than before. Driven by her resolve to make a difference, Kate volunteered for this mission. Matt reminds her of that choice, staring her down. "Do you want to find the people responsible, yes or no?" Shaken but determined, Kate answers firmly, "Yes." The team departs the military base, heading into Mexico. As they drive, Kate's eyes widen in horror at the sight ahead. Bodies stripped of their clothes hang lifeless from poles. The brutal display shakes her to the core. A team member explains grimly, these were drug dealers, killed and displayed as a warning by the cartel. Their mission is clear: capture Guo Diaz, Manuel Diaz's brother and a crucial figure in cartel operations. The team locates Guo quickly, arresting him without resistance. The ease of the operation catches Kate off guard. As they head back toward the US, the team remains on edge, knowing this victory could provoke retaliation. Nearing the border, tension tightens like a noose. Eyes scan every vehicle, every movement. Suddenly, cartel trucks appear in the distance, closing in fast. "Prepare your weapons," Alejandro orders, his voice razor-sharp. The convoy braces as cartel gunmen attack. Chaos ignites, bullets fly, but the FBI and CIA agents respond with deadly precision, cutting down the threat. "Clear," Alejandro shouts as the last cartel gunman falls. The convoy speeds across the border, finally safe. Once inside US territory, Kate's frustration erupts. She confronts Matt, fire in her voice. "How could you authorize deadly force in Mexico?" she demands. This mission feels lawless, out of control. Her confusion spirals. She no longer understands what's happening or the real purpose of the operation. Matt offers little in return, his silence only fueling her doubt. Later, frustrated by Guo's refusal to talk, Matt calls in Alejandro. The moment Guo lays eyes on him, fear flickers in his expression. Alejandro, cold and unrelenting, leans in with intense interrogation tactics. His methods are ruthless but effective. Under mounting pressure, Guo finally cracks. He spills the location of a secret smuggling tunnel connecting the US and Mexico. Later, an officer leads Kate to a rooftop overlooking the Mexican side of the border. From above, she watches the ripple effect of Guo's arrest. Chaos spreads as cartel operations crumble. Kate's gaze shifts to a crowded detention facility below, packed with immigrants from Mexico. Fear hangs thick in the air. The team, still unsure of the tunnel's precise location, detains the immigrants, hoping someone can provide answers. Reggie, growing frustrated and just as confused, corners Matt. His patience snaps. "If you don't explain the mission right now, Kate and I are out." Matt deflects Reggie's questions effortlessly, showing little concern. "What are we looking for?" Reggie presses. "Just keep watching," Matt replies, his tone flat and cryptic. Reggie refuses to back down. "I want to know why we're here. Why aren't you telling us everything?" Matt finally gives in, explaining that Guo revealed the existence of a smuggling tunnel east of Nogales. Guo had no choice, he talked, and now he's facing 30 years in an American prison. The explanation sits heavily with Kate and Reggie, the moral grayness of the mission becoming harder to ignore. A detained immigrant, unsure of the tunnel's exact location, provides a rough estimate. Acting on this lead, the team mobilizes to raid the area and dismantle Diaz's drug operation. They understand that capturing Fausto Alarcon, Diaz's boss, is essential to fully crippling the cartel. The team monitors a bank used by the cartel, keeping an eye out for a woman known to deposit black money. Hours of surveillance pass before she finally arrives to make a deposit. The team swiftly arrests her and confiscates her bag packed with cash. "Don't go in," Matt warns Kate. "This is evidence we can actually use." He explains how the cartel deposits money in $9,000 increments to avoid detection. The seized cash totals $17 million, linked to Diaz but invisible to the system. Kate reports the discovery to her superior, insisting it's enough to justify an arrest. But her superior remains calm, explaining that large deposits alone aren't illegal. Without clear proof tying the money to criminal activity, they don't have a strong enough case. Frustrated, Reggie suggests they stop at a nearby bar to decompress. Kate agrees, eager for a brief escape from the mounting tension. At the bar, the music is loud, and for a moment, Kate lets herself relax. She dances with Ted, but the ease fades when her eyes catch a pink and blue band on his wrist. Her stomach drops. "You used me," she accuses, stepping back. "I was bait," Matt cuts in, calm as ever. "This is good," he insists, but Kate's anger flares. "How many others are dirty?" she demands, frustration boiling over. Alejandro intervenes, pulling Ted aside quietly. His voice remains level but firm. "I decide if your family gets federal protection." Ted crumbles under the pressure, revealing the names of officers colluding with the cartel. Later, as the team regroups, Alejandro glances at Kate. "You remind me of someone," he says, leaving the thought hanging. Kate and Reggie meet Matt at the military base, where soldiers gather around satellite images showing Diaz's location and the smuggling tunnel. The team uses the satellite to track Diaz's movements, preparing their approach. Matt outlines the plan to infiltrate the tunnel and dismantle the operation from within. Kate feels unsettled, silently questioning why the focus is on the tunnel instead of taking direct action against Diaz. Kate's frustration grows as the mission unfolds, her confusion mounting with each step. She begins questioning the team's priorities, wondering why they are so focused on dismantling the tunnel when Manuel Diaz himself is clearly the bigger target. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Silvio is seen in his police car, receiving several suspicious packets, further evidence of his entanglement with the cartel. Later that night, Matt and his team move to infiltrate the secret tunnel. Alejandro and the Delta Force lead the way. As they push forward, chaos erupts. A large group of cartel gunmen engages them, igniting a fierce battle filled with gunfire and explosions. Kate and Reggie remain at a distance, tense and uneasy as they observe the unfolding firefight. Amid the commotion, Kate notices something strange. Alejandro suddenly breaks away from the group, veering down a different path. Uncertain of his intentions, Kate decides to follow him. As the situation escalates, Kate finds herself in danger. A bullet strikes her vest, knocking her to the ground. Injured but alive, she emerges from the tunnel furious and demanding answers. Reggie, who had lost track of her during the raid, joins her in confronting Matt. Under pressure, Matt finally comes clean. The mission was never about arresting Manuel Diaz. Alejandro, Matt reveals, isn't an FBI agent, but a Colombian assassin. His objective is clear: to eliminate Diaz and his boss, Fausto Alarcon. Matt explains the grim reality. Alejandro was once a respected prosecutor in Medellin, but when the cartel rose to power, they murdered his wife and daughter in a brutal display of violence. This mission isn't about justice, it's Alejandro's personal war. A vendetta wrapped in the guise of law enforcement. The weight of the revelation hits Kate hard. She realizes the mission has strayed far from the principles of justice she believed in. Furious and betrayed, Kate confronts Matt, vowing to expose the operation. Matt, unmoved, defends their actions. "This is how you deal with the cartel," he insists. "Law won't stop them." Meanwhile, Alejandro moves closer to his ultimate target, Fausto Alarcon. In a chilling sequence, Alejandro methodically eliminates Fausto's guards before confronting him at his home during dinner with his family. Calm and deliberate, Alejandro reminds Fausto of the pain he caused, the suffering that cannot be undone. Fausto pleads for his family's lives, but Alejandro ignores him. One by one he executes them all, completing his long-sought mission of vengeance. Later, Alejandro visits Kate at her apartment. In his hand is a document, a formal statement affirming that the mission was conducted legally. Kate refuses to sign. Without hesitation, Alejandro draws his gun, making it clear she has no choice. Trembling, tears streaming down her face, Kate relents and signs the paper. Before leaving, Alejandro softens for a moment. He tells Kate she reminds him of his daughter and advises her to move somewhere quiet, away from all of this. As he turns to leave, Kate raises her gun, leveling it at him. Alejandro pauses, standing still, silently inviting her to make her choice. After a long, tense moment, Kate lowers her weapon. Alejandro nods and walks away, leaving her behind to grapple with the weight of what she has witnessed and the choices she didn't make. The next film opens at the Mexico-Texas border under the cover of night. A spotlight slices through the darkness, revealing a large group sprinting across the arid terrain. Their goal is clear: they're attempting to cross the border illegally, desperate to reach the United States undetected. Suddenly, law enforcement vehicles swarm the area, lights flashing and sirens wailing. Officers move swiftly, cutting off all possible escape routes. Amid the chaos, one man breaks away from the group, sprinting into the night in a desperate bid to evade capture. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, a seemingly ordinary day at a crowded department store shatters into violence. Armed terrorists storm the building, explosives in hand. By the time the dust settles, the true scale of the tragedy emerges. News of the attack spreads like wildfire, igniting panic and fear across the country. The U.S. president, visibly shaken, addresses the nation in a somber press conference. He reveals that the operatives behind the attack are being smuggled across the southern border under the cover of darkness. In response, a U.S. Special Forces team is deployed to a remote base in Somalia, believed to be a key hub for a smuggling network aiding terrorist infiltration. Under the cloak of night, the elite unit surrounds the compound, weapons drawn. With precision, they breach the hideout and apprehend their target, Bashir, the suspected mastermind behind the smuggling routes used to transport terrorists into the U.S. The operation marks a breakthrough in the fight against terrorism but underscores the growing complexity of the global network fueling these devastating attacks. Later, Matt sits across from Bashir, casually biting into a Snickers bar. Breaking the silence, he offers Bashir water, gesturing toward nearby jugs. Bashir smirks, unimpressed. "Americans need new tricks," he scoffs. Unfazed, Matt leans forward. "Waterboarding," he explains, "works for some. But in Africa, things are different." In a cold tone, he warns Bashir, if he doesn't cooperate, Matt will call in an airstrike on his house. Bashir chuckles, dismissing the threat. "They aren't my men," he claims. Matt doesn't blink. He asks one question: who paid Bashir to let the ships through? When Bashir refuses to answer, Matt orders the airstrike. As the compound burns, Matt shows Bashir a live feed of his brother. Time is running out and Matt demands answers. Near the Mexico border, a young boy named Miguel sits with his friend Hector. Hector, an informant for a local cartel, leans in, voice low and persuasive. He flashes stacks of cash. "Join the cartel," he urges. "You'll start earning like this. Buy whatever you want. Help your family." The temptation weighs heavy. After a brief hesitation, Miguel nods. He's in. Back in Washington, D.C., Matt attends a high-level meeting with CIA Director Cynthia and Secretary of Defense James Riley. The mission is urgent: dismantle the powerful cartels fueling smuggling operations. Cynthia outlines the strategy: pit the rival cartels against each other, turning them inward. Riley presses the broader objective: destabilize the cartels while severing their connections to terrorist networks. The focus shifts to their next target, the organization led by Carlos Reyes. The strategy is bold and risky, ignite conflict between rival cartels, forcing them to destroy each other from within. The plan is approved without hesitation. Matt travels to Colombia to find Alejandro, who has been living in quiet isolation. Matt appeals to Alejandro's hatred for the cartels, reminding him of the family they took from him. Alejandro, driven by vengeance, agrees to join the mission. In Mexico City, Alejandro wastes no time executing their plan. His team intercepts a car, and when one of the men inside panics and tries to flee, Alejandro eliminates him without hesitation. The man is later identified as a high-ranking lawyer for the Matamoros cartel. Alejandro's swift action sends shockwaves through the underworld, triggering immediate tensions between the rival cartels, exactly as planned. As chaos brews, Alejandro and Matt proceed to the next phase, kidnapping Isabel Reyes, the daughter of Carlos Reyes. After school, Isabel is picked up by her bodyguard, Carson, in a black SUV. She sits in the back, absorbed in her iPad as Carson scans the road ahead. His vigilance pays off when he notices another SUV trailing them. Sensing the danger, Carson orders the driver to accelerate, but the pursuing vehicle matches their speed. Carson radios ahead, warning the guards at the Reyes estate. He urges them to inform Carlos that provoking the Matamoros cartel could lead to catastrophic consequences. Matt and Alejandro brace for the fallout, knowing their dangerous game has only just begun. Alejandro's objective is clear: ignite a war between the Matamoros cartel and Carlos Reyes' organization. So far, the plan is working flawlessly. As tensions escalate, Matt stages a carefully orchestrated rescue operation, bringing Isabel to a secure location. The next step is to return her to Mexico, ensuring the rift between the cartels deepens. From a secure house, Matt and his team watch the chaos unfold through live feeds. Confused cartel soldiers scramble on screen, uncertain of who is responsible. The pieces are falling into place. At the safe house, Alejandro sits with Isabel, attempting to ease her fear. Despite his calm tone, Isabel is terrified. They remove the blindfold from her face, but before long, an armed group breaches the house under the guise of a rescue mission. Panicked, Isabel listens as chaos unfolds. Alejandro storms in and finds her, guiding her out as part of the plan. She's escorted into a vehicle, shaken but unharmed. Alejandro reassures her, presenting himself as her savior. "We're going to get you home safely," he tells her. Later, Matt and Alejandro meet with a contact arranging their escape route. The man assures them the federal police will provide cover when the operation is complete. As they leave the meeting, they pass by Miguel, now fully immersed in cartel life. He climbs into a car with Hector, who has drawn him deeper into the cartel's ranks. Crossing back into Mexico, everything seems to be going as planned, until an unexpected twist throws the entire mission into jeopardy. At a checkpoint, the unexpected happens. Mexican police, supposedly unaware of the mission, suddenly turn on Matt's team. Without warning, gunfire erupts. The police open fire, forcing Matt and his men to retaliate with deadly precision. "Take them out," Matt shouts as the team reacts, swiftly neutralizing the threat. When the dust settles, the team regroups, shaken but alive. Alejandro, however, feels the weight of responsibility for Isabel's safety. As the mission spirals out of control, he makes a decision. He will go after her alone. He knows the risks, but the cartel will show no mercy if they find her first. Meanwhile, Matt returns to the U.S., where Cynthia delivers urgent news. The Mexican government has caught wind of their covert operation. The mission must be shut down immediately to avoid diplomatic fallout. Cynthia stresses the gravity of the situation. Continuing the operation risks destabilizing Mexico further, and could spark severe consequences for the U.S. The objective was to incite cartel infighting, she reminds Matt, not to provoke conflict with the Mexican government. But Matt, deeply committed to the mission he's orchestrated, refuses to abandon it. The stakes are too high, and he isn't willing to walk away now. As Alejandro and Isabel press forward, they encounter a deaf man named Angel. Alejandro communicates through sign language, explaining their need for food and water. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Alejandro shares a personal detail. He learned sign language from his daughter, who is no longer alive. This brief connection reveals a softer side to Alejandro, a glimpse of the man he once was. Later that night, Isabel begins piecing together the fragments of her memories. Slowly, the truth dawns on her. Alejandro is the same man whose family was murdered under her father's orders, carried out by Fausto Alarcon. The realization hangs heavy, complicating the fragile bond between them. Meanwhile, Matt makes a chilling call to Alejandro. His instructions are clear: kill Isabel and finish the mission. But Alejandro hesitates. He no longer sees Isabel as just another pawn in his quest for revenge. She is innocent. a victim of a world she never chose. Defying Matt's orders, Alejandro makes a different move. As Isabel sleeps, he discreetly places a small transmitter in her shoe, a safeguard to track her if they are ever separated. Determined to protect her, Alejandro devises a plan to get Isabel across the border unnoticed. To help her blend in, he alters her appearance, cutting her hair and dressing her to match the migrants. Together, they board a crowded bus heading toward the border, blending into the sea of people desperate for a better life. Isabel watches quietly, surprised by the sheer number of migrants packed into vehicles, each group bound for different sections of the border, unaware of the dangers that await them on the other side. The journey is far from over, and Alejandro knows the real threat is yet to come. As the bus rumbles along, Alejandro explains to Isabel that this happens every day, countless people risking everything for the hope of a better life. But the journey grows more dangerous. A signal quietly pings, alerting the cartel to their location. Alejandro, sensing the threat, insists on handling it himself. Soon, a cartel operative named Hector boards the bus. Alejandro leans toward Isabel. "Stay calm. Don't make eye contact. Answer yes or no," quietly, he whispers. Hector's eyes scan the passengers, lingering on Isabel. Suspicion flickers in his gaze. Alejandro reacts swiftly, offering him $115,000 to buy their safety. Hector hesitates, greed battling caution. Finally, he pockets the cash and lets them stay. Alejandro and Isabel sink back into their seats, blending into the crowd. But their luck doesn't hold. A young boy on the bus recognizes Isabel. He slips away and alerts his leader, a ruthless gang boss who sees Isabel as a bargaining chip. Carlos Reyes, he believes, will pay handsomely for her return. The boss wastes no time. He orders the boy to eliminate Alejandro, seeing him as nothing but an obstacle. The situation spirals into dangerous territory. Miguel, now fully entrenched in cartel operations, is given a grim assignment: kill Alejandro. Reluctantly, Miguel follows orders. But the weight of his actions gnaws at him. From a distance, Matt quietly monitors the unfolding events, ready to intervene. As Miguel completes the task, the gang applauds him. But Miguel hesitates, the violence finally cracking his resolve. Matt and Steve seize the opening. They strike fast, launching a surprise assault on the gang. In a flash, the gangsters fall, wiped out before they can react. Isabel, shaken, asks what's happening. "You'll go into witness protection now," Matt tells her. Meanwhile, Alejandro, miraculously alive but gravely injured, manages to escape. He staggers toward a van packed with cartel weapons. As he climbs inside, two cartel members spot him. Without pause, they open fire. Alejandro, bleeding and weak, makes one last desperate move to survive. 1 year later, Miguel has left his violent past behind. Now he works quietly at a food court in a shopping mall, his life ordinary but safe. That is, until a familiar face steps through the crowd. Alejandro, alive and hardened, approaches him. Recognizing Miguel's inner conflict, Alejandro makes him an offer. "I can show you a new path," he says. Miguel listens. Alejandro extends his hand, introducing him to the life of a Sicario, a hitman with purpose. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.